Hello, I'm just making a video on this new MP3 player that I got from AGPTEK. This is the AGPTEK M6. You can see here at the bottom, I guess it's the M6U. I'm basically making this video because there's no documentation on this specific player yet online. It must have been pretty new, and I'm a bit of an enthusiast for random tech, so I want to make a video to maybe educate other people about this new player that's available. So I'll go ahead and power it on. I've already got an SD card in it. I'll rotate it so you could just see what you got on the sides. This is the power button right there. There's a microphone below it, bottom, top volume, record for your voice memos. There's a speaker on the back, nothing on the left, nothing on the top. On the bottom, you've got the micro SD, and then you've got the aux and the USB-C to charge. Now, I read that you should not charge this with a typical phone charger or wall charger. It only accepts up to 500 milliamp and 5 volts. Any higher than that, it'll still accept it, but it's not good for it. So definitely purchase the recommended wall adapter for a 500 milliamp, which this same company sells it for $10 on Amazon. So I'll go ahead and show you the interface. You've got music, video, Bluetooth, voice memos, FM radio, folders, ebooks, tools, and settings. So in the settings, you've got language, display, where you can set the brightness, and some other settings. There's 2 different types of auto shutdowns. I believe timed shutdown occurs even when you're using the device, so it's like a sleep timer. Power saving shutdown is for when the device is idle or not playing any music for enough time. It'll just automatically shut it down. So 5 minutes would be that. Date and time, you could set the button lights to be either always on, off, or the way it is now where it's reactive. Format device, factory reset. I don't know what the difference is between that. Update playlist. You're going to want to click this anytime you plug in a new SD card and it's got new content on it that you want to pull from. It just take a bit. About device shows you the firmware version, which I guess is a 1.3.7, and it's got the model number there, 2025 September 11th, which I guess is pretty new. Disk information, it shows you how much space is available left on the SD card. Tools, you've got an alarm, which I have tested. It does work, and it does turn on the device when it's off to set the alarm, which is basically, it's pretty essential that it would do that, so I'm glad it does. Pictures, I didn't mean to scan. Yeah, so you do have pictures on here. This is my dog being cute. I'll go over the file formats in a minute. There's a calendar, which you can't do anything other than I don't know. I don't really know how to use this calendar function. I haven't gotten it to do anything. I mean, you could change the date and stuff, but that's it. Stopwatch. This is actually really useful. I use my stopwatch all the time, especially to have multiple laps. I do use that, so this is very useful for me. Pedometer. I have not tested this. I'm sure it's inaccurate as hell, but I mean, cool to have it, I suppose. Ebooks, I don't have any on there, but it just reads a text file, so the extension is TXT. You could put any kind of text file on there and it'll read it. I mean, I think there's no limit to the size. Folders, this is basically just the folder view, so I already have a couple things in there, which I'll get to. FM radio, it does work. You could actually, there's some cool settings in there, but I need some earbuds plugged in, which I guess I'll plug them in real quick. Why not? I'll show you that FM radio function. So we've got the adapter plugged in. This uses the antenna from it. FM radio. So yeah, you can go ahead and just scan the channels. I believe, yeah, here's your presets. And you could go ahead and auto scan, and yeah, it's cool. I guess it supports FM radio in Europe, Japan, and standard, which I'm assuming is the United States. You could record the FM radio so you can listen to it later. I believe it does a wave. So that's pretty cool. Yes, I'll turn. Yeah, you can have automatic or background radio playback, which I didn't know that. The recorder uses the microphone on the side. I do not know if it will use the microphone from the actual cable, which I'll test that really quick just to see. I'll start a testing 1 2 3. All right, I set it really quiet, so let's see. Save recording library. Let's see. Yeah, it does not use the built-in. It only uses the built-in microphone. It does not use the cable microphone, so that's something to know. You can save the quality or do high quality noise reduction. I don't know what audio monitoring is. Yeah, I don't know. Voice activated, I don't know. You got Bluetooth, which this does work very well. I'm surprised how well it works. This is Bluetooth 5.4, which is one of the newest. It'll automatically pair to your device. So if I have my Bluetooth earbuds, I'm sure if I even just open them, it'll try to connect to it. It's very aggressive with how quickly it connects. So like if you turn the device on from an off state, it'll immediately go and connect to the Bluetooth. Video and music. Now this is kind of where things get complicated. Videos do work on this device. They have a file format of AVI. However, it's a highly specific encoding to work. So you can't just use FFmpeg to get that working. You need to use their modded or custom patched FFmpeg exe file, which they've patched the libx264 codec to essentially cap the maximum size of iframes and pframes, and without that setting, this does not play those videos at all. It'll crash the player immediately. You have to take the SD card out and it'll shut down and turn back on. It's unfortunate, but the videos do work. So if I play the video here.
When were your favorite frozen foods invented? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so this is Good Mythical Morning. It does work, and it works quite well, actually. The quality of the video is good. It's surprisingly good. The resolution of the screen is 240 by 320, which is an upgrade over their older models, which were, I think, 128 by 160 or something. So that's pretty cool. It does not support dual channel audio through the video, so you have to use single channel audio. I was able to bump the bit rate of the audio the audio rate all the way to 4,400 or 44,000 kilohertz, or just hertz. I think 44,000 hertz. So you got good quality audio over the video files, which was something you couldn't do on the older players that used the AMV format. That had a maximum rate of like 22,000, something really low. It was very noticeable when you're listening. So that is the videos working. So if you got videos, you got photos. Let's go ahead and do audio. I'll do music here. We'll just do EDM. Yeah, so it does work with several file formats, including lossless audio. I found that the best compromise for audio quality is actually AAC. AAC seems to have the best compression and quality for the lossy codecs. MP3 is the second best, but AAC is great. The one thing with AAC on these players is typically AAC can come in two types of containers. You've got the ADTS container, which is the legacy one, and you've got the M4A container, which is usually for MPEG-4 content. This one, it does not, I mean, it does support the M4A file format. The only problem is it has an issue with seeking through the audio. So if you try to connect a Bluetooth device when you were listening on speakers, or you try to fast forward too far in the song, it'll start freaking out because it can't find that seek position. So you need to use, if you're going to use AAC, you need to use the ADTS container, where the file extension is AAC, not M4A, just in case somebody comes across that problem. What else? Yeah, you've got the gallery here, photos of my dog, and the photos come in really nice. The photos didn't need any special encoding other than I believe I just de-interlaced the images. It supports JPEGs and BMP. I believe BMP is the most efficient for this type of player because it just like is a one-to-one bitmap. If you do a JPEG, it will load. It just takes a bit longer. You can speed it up by removing interlacing. So JPEGs can typically be progressive or baseline. You want them to be baseline where they do not have progressive loading. Here's another video of my dog. So, yeah, the player is pretty nice. The ebooks have several different backgrounds that you can use. One of them looks like paper, which is the most readable. You definitely can use this for text. I don't know what you would put on there. Maybe like the Bible or something. I couldn't even think of it. But in summary, I actually do really like this player. It's got all the functionality that I need. The one thing that is tricky with it, other than the file format codecs and whatever, is with the Bluetooth. If you're trying to pair this to a car, a lot of cars nowadays are trying to use pins, like a generated pin code, to connect over Bluetooth. This one's default pin code, I believe, is 0000 or 01 or 1236 or something like that. I saw it on their forums from 2017. It did not pair with my car. There's no option to input like a key or a pin or anything like that. So it basically makes it unusable for using on a car, at least for my car. However, I'll shut this down here. However, I think I'm just going to use it over the aux port. You can also use something like this. And this is just getting too complicated, but this is a Bluetooth. It's a Bluetooth receiver, so this can pair to that, and then you would plug in an aux cable into your car and use this to control the playback, since you won't be able to use your steering wheel to control the audio playback through the aux cable. So you got to use this. I think it might be a little too complex. It might just be worth it just to use just the player over aux in the car, and then you can just use the player's built-in controls to skip and stuff in the car. It's a little unfortunate this has digital buttons. Physical buttons is definitely better than digital buttons, I think. You can use it without looking. I have this older player here from Ruizu. It's kind of like AGPTEK's cousin. A lot of the times they have similar models actually, but this one can actually also play video and do images, BMP, and all that stuff. But that's not a review for this player. It's for the AGPTEK M6. But yeah, overall, like if I had to give this, I don't know, out of like 10, a rating, I'd say it's like a 7.5, maybe an 8. I think it checks most of the boxes that people would be using it for. You just got to be a little careful with the file formats. I mean, that's just a thing on all of these Chinese players. Like, I mean, they support video. I don't know who would want to put a lot of video on there. I have been able to watch YouTube. I've downloaded my YouTube and put it on this, and it does work, and it's not unwatchable or anything. It's just a small screen. So if you're going to try to put videos on this, you got to use either their custom converter, which is like a exe that you can install. It's got like a nice user interface. You put your file in and then select AVI as your format, and you could just convert it. But personally, I want to kind of do this in bulk, like bulk converting. So I used I made a program that uses their like FFmpeg that's patched to do that. So I'll probably attach that in the description. But yeah, that's it. This is the review. Just wanted to put some documentation out for it since it doesn't really exist elsewhere.